Is it Friday already? Is it Friday evening? It
Thank
must be.
already. Goodness.
Must be because I've been with my favorite people. This is
Yay!
Awesome. Welcome, Thomas, of course. You're always welcome. You're my favorite person on the podcast because you're my podcast partner. But we have two of my other favorite people as well, JT and Brandy, joining us today. JT and Brandy, JT might be frozen. Nope, there he is. Oh, he's good. How are both of you doing? Welcome.
Good. Exhausted. This has been a week. It has been a week, and this has been a day. Today, it's been a lot of fun. But I am so glad it's Friday and I can sleep in tomorrow.
What is a sleep in for you? Is it like 8? Is it 10? I mean, you got to tell the truth here. You're
normally like 7-ish or 8. There have been days. Yeah, 7 is sleeping in for me. I get up at 5 every morning. But there are some days where when I wake up at like 7-ish, I'll take Lucy out and then I'll come back and I'll fall back asleep for Lord knows how long. And like an afternoon nap after I've been on the beach is one of my favorites too. So my weekends, I try to rest as much as possible.
That's awesome. Do you have some good weather?
There's a lot of me wondering, what did I say wrong?
You just have to, it's in the past. It's the Hakuna Matata thing, right? You just have to say, look, it's in the past. You can't change it. All you can do is do better next time.
100% right. So I'm with Brandy on that too. My weekends are my sleeping weekend, and it's 7:30, 8 max. And in regards to Lucy, when I go out, my dogs, they all sleep on the bed. They know it's Saturday because they wake me up every morning at 5:45 during the week. Weekend, they know, no, he's staying until 7:30. They sleep in too. It's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. You hear that? You're bad.
Yeah.
I've had a rental
dog.
If
I could holler at mine.
It's nice to have a dog. It's sort of like having grandkids over, where you get to rile them up and then send them home.
Oh yeah,
play with the dog and not have to clean up after it, and it's just the best of both worlds. So.
Yeah, Lucy gets really into everything. If I'm not up, then she'll get feisty with her toys, and I think she's doing it kind of as a way to show me who's in charge. Like, hey, look, I'm going to whip this thing around in my mouth. Like, remember how in charge I am. And it works. I mean, it gets me out of bed. She's funny though, because she always sleeps in this little bed under my desk. So tonight, everybody's been asking me to do a Lucy cam. So I have, I'm going to set it up I'm going to show it on Night Court tonight for the first time. But I've got it set up. She's got this hole underneath my desk, because I sit in my chair like crisscross applesauce. So the hole underneath of my desk is hers. She's got a rug and a bed and drapes and LED lighting. I mean, she's got it made down here.
Palace down there.
Yes. So we're going to have a Lucy cam from now on.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm jealous. So does she like say like, hey, this could be you? See how rough I am with this chew toy? If you don't get out of bed,
Yeah, I think she's like, yeah. Oh, she loves the flip flops, and she's definitely spoiled. But she loves the flip flops. But I think it's just like, yeah, her reminding me like, hey, look how feisty I am. Don't make me tear stuff up. So
does she like the beach? Are you able to take her to the beach?
Yeah, she loves the beach. We go out there every morning and we'll watch the sunrise, and she'll chase seagulls and, and Lord help her if she sees a crab, like the little sand flea crabs, the little white ones. She'll see it and she'll jump down like this, and then she'll take off after them. And then they, kind of slide off sideways. And she's never gotten one, but I keep telling her they're going to like clap onto your ponytail and you ain't going to be able to get it off. But she loves it. And she'll get in the waves just enough, and then when it comes up, then she's like, she'll kind of bounce around and come back up. She's a little beach dog.
Beach dog. So we've got Lucy. Some of the viewers know I've got pets. We all know Scott's got a rental dog. JT, any pets over there? Some may know, some may not.
Yeah. 2 now. Ramona, who's a dog. In 11,
okay.
and then Elton, Sir Elton, if you don't really know him.
Elton.
He is a grandiose 1-year-old, and boy, oh boy, what was I thinking?
Bless your heart. Oh my goodness.
I know
That's
what you
intense.
mean, and I agree.
So we've got a farm at the weather studio here. So we have 4 dogs, and they might be barking in the background right now because they're going nuts at someone at the door. 4 dogs, 2 cats, a rabbit, and a bird.
Aw.
Is at our homestead here. It's insane. Wouldn't trade them for the world, but goodness gracious, does it get to be way too much?
Are you
Yeah.
starting like a petting zoo? Is it the goal?
They control the petting zoo because they're all like, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet
Oh.
me. There's not enough time to spread around. It's nuts.
So
And
they run the petting zoo, and you're the animals in the zoo. So you come
100%.
over-
Yeah.
I
They invite their
100%
friends over to look at the owners. Is that how
Yes.
it goes?
I
Yes.
pay rent here to the
Yes.
animals. That's how that's how
Yeah.
it works.
As long as they
That
know
sounds
who the
about
boss
right.
is.
Yeah.
But JT, Brandy, so glad that y'all are here. Thank you for sparing time because we know you guys are the busiest YouTubers that I have to know because you guys stream daily. JT, you're all over the place with everyone else. And then you guys do Night Court, which you are doing tonight after this stream. So
Mhm.
you're so gracious to give us your time here tonight. So can't thank you enough. It's so fun to be here. And it wasn't kind of on one of my list of questions, but Brandy and RA, how did you guys kind of first connect? Because there's obviously a connection there. There's viewers that overlap and kind of coincide. How did you guys meet? How did that even happen?
I can tell you she was ghosting me for a long time. I
did.
tried
I ghosted
to
him.
connect, and she's like, who's this creep? First of
Yeah.
all,
Brandy left him on red.
I'll let you tell your side, Brandy. I know the truth, but go ahead.
No, he's telling the truth. I see what's so ironic about it is, I was doing, this is during the Murdoch stuff, and I was doing all of the charts and everything, and I was doing recap videos and stuff like that, but I had not done anything live. And he had messaged me and said, hey, my wife and I, are big fans of the charts, and we would love to, I would love to have you on. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, sometime. That sounds great. No intention of actually ever going on, because I was like, live isn't my thing, which is ironic now.
Let me just tell you, I
Right.
was so excited. She's like, she said yes, she's gonna be on. It's gonna be my first guest. That's like that it hasn't isn't a supporter from the channel. It's gonna be like an outside guest. It's gonna be official, and then nothing. So go ahead. Go on.
Ghosted.
And it wasn't anything personal. I was like, I am too, I was not real familiar with a lot of YouTube stuff, and I wasn't even, I didn't send my first tweet until like February or March. So with the Murdoch stuff, there was a lot of positivity that came from it, and I made a lot of great connections, but there are also some butt heads out there, and people can be really mean. And so I was like, I don't want to go on a live show because people are not nice. And then when I actually started watching, then I was like, oh, these aren't those people. Like, this is different. So I finally agreed to go on. I stopped ghosting him and finally went on.
And she was absolutely amazing. Just if you guys missed that episode, she came twice in the same day. We had you like in the morning, and then later in the afternoon you came on again. And it was
Yeah.
just awesome. And you brought your organizational approach to Murdaugh, and just the smile and personality that you bring to your channel every day. And it was just like, this is awesome. And everybody immediately just adopted you as their own, and
Yeah,
said
it was
she's
awesome.
amazing. And it was all just from there. It just went boom, which was awesome.
Yeah. We've had a lot of, I had a good following on Twitter, and of course RA had a good following on YouTube. So after we kind of, connected, then I was sending everybody on Twitter over to, his YouTube channel. And then he was sending everybody on his YouTube channel, over to watch my recap videos and stuff. So it ended up, we have very similar philosophies as to, let's all be nice, and let's all,
Yeah. Similar decorum. Y'all are like Judge Duro.
So how does JT fit in all that mix? We need to hear JT's side of where that connection formed between you and Brandy.
I tricked him. Go ahead, JT, tell him. I tricked him.
That is semi-true. Yes. No, during Murdaugh, right?
Mhm.
I think.
She knows.
Yeah. During Murder, right? Yeah, she knows it much better than me. I just let her tell it. Yeah, during Murder, we ended up having like a mutual connection. Who had introduced us, and Brandy had mentioned that she was like, "Hey, I was thinking about starting a podcast. I've got this idea, which we've really got to get back to, by the way." And
That's funny.
and I had said, "Well, I've done it for 4 years podcasting." I was like, I can help out. I can produce whatever you want. And then that just kind of germinated. We worked on that, and then that came out. And then Brandy, I'm going to let you take it from here regarding the live side.
Because I tricked him. So when the Lori Vallow stuff came out and we found out that there weren't going to be live feeds, it was kind of one of those things where there's not only is there not live feed and they're not going to release it until the evenings, but there's no cameras, so it's just going to be listening. So there weren't a lot of streamers that were like, hey, yeah, I'm going to jump on that, but I always like going through everything with the community. So I had reached out to RA and I was like, I don't know anything about what I'm doing, but nobody's doing this. What would I need to do if I wanted to stream this? And I could stream it in the evenings. And so he kind of walked me through some stuff and, helped me out. And then I reached out to JT and I, basically told him, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can make graphics and stuff. I can do, that. So like at least they have something to look at, but I really just don't know what I'm doing. And so he came on to help with like the production stuff. And I was like, well, just come on with me. It'll take some of the pressure off. So he did. He, co-hosted with me. I think the first night or two I did it by myself. And then he came on and co-hosted with me. And he was like, all right, well, I'm doing all these other things, but yeah, I can do tomorrow night, I guess. And I was like, all right, great. Yes, tomorrow night. Awesome. And then it was supposed to be the, one night, maybe once a week or something. And then he came and helped. And I was like, okay, great. So what time tomorrow? What time are we coming back tomorrow? And then so every night I would just be like, okay, what time are we coming back tomorrow? What time are we doing it tomorrow? So I just never did let him leave.
That is awesome. And JT, that's sort of what I did to Thomas, only Thomas reached out to me. He made the mistake of reaching out to me, and half of basically all the good things that happen on my channel have come probably through Thomas and some of his, his friends, as he's like, hey, it just might be a good idea. Have you heard of a thumbnail? And maybe you should make one. It was that's where I was on the YouTube side. And he's like, he got with Matthew Harris. He was like, hey, what, playlists are a good thing. You might think about. And he was gently teaching me the very basics of YouTube. And it's been awesome. And this whole podcast was his idea. So if this goes down in flames, we know where to squarely put the burden. Yeah. But no, it has been so much fun to just have him. He's been an amazing friend as well through all this. Just an incredible guy. Off camera, if you get the chance to meet Thomas, he's a guy you'll love. It's just awesome. So
it's funny you're so nice about it, because I laugh of you were way too trusting up front. Because
it was like day 3. I gave you like full access to my YouTube account. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It says you can do it now. I think you still have access, right?
Yeah, 100%. I was on it yesterday. You didn't notice?
Never did.
Yeah, like mod early on, and then it was it was a peaceful protest of some sort, right? In the Dallas highways or something was happening late one night.
Yeah, it was crazy news. We were trying to follow it on the scanner and videos and stuff. It was.
And at that time, I texted your burner phone and said, hey, I've got some insight on stuff like this with my family's background. I'll come co-host, because you would let me do weather reports on your live stream, which is hilarious. You had no idea who I was and what I was doing. And when there's severe weather, you would patch me in on Zoom. And then all of a sudden, after that night, I do remember though, I was like, hey, let's do a podcast. This was fun. And you didn't think about it.
Do you know why I let you do weather reports?
That's how it starts.
I used to be in a news studio. I used to work in a news studio, and the smartest person in the entire building was the weatherman. I'm like, I'm not going to pass up on the ability to have a really smart person on the program. Okay?
Well,
that will make me look good.
I'm not one of those. You got the dumbest weatherman that you patched in, but I'm grateful to be
here. Still.
I mean, he's part of a petting zoo.
And I tricked Scott. I love it. So I've got a few questions that I want to ask y'all, and they may work for both of you, or they might be a little bit different. And I think this first one is specifically, what did you do before YouTube? And I know, like JT, from what I think I understand, you still have a day job, right? You and myself still have a different
Yes.
career outside of YouTube. Whereas Brandy, if I'm not mistaken, and then obviously Scott, but this is your day jobs, right?
Mhm.
For the both
Yeah.
of you. So JT, you and I can bow out on this one, but Brandy, what were you doing prior to YouTube before you took that plunge?
I did marketing and management for pretty much the entirety of my career. I managed a bridal store, and I did that for about 10 years. And then I went into sports marketing, which is all the graphics and everything,
Yeah.
the systems I used to do all that. A lot of that came from the marketing stuff. And I enjoyed it. I was pretty good at it, but it wasn't one of those things that I was like excited to get up and go do every day. Of course, it was still work. And then when I got sick, I was on medical leave for so long, and I was never able. I still at this point have not been able to get cleared to go back to work full time. So I started doing this thinking, oh, it'll just be fun for, Valo, and we'll see what happens. And then it turned into like, something that it's so much work, but it is a lot of fun. It's one of those things that I do look forward to doing every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So without a doubt, it is a ton of work. And I'd say that it's not even my job. I try to do it as a hobby, and I suck because I'm 2 months behind on a video for other stuff. But to produce content and do it, a ton of work. But at the end of the day, you get to work for yourself and you're your own boss. Is that what really draws you to it specifically?
I love that part, but I think the thing that draws me to it the most is just I've always been into, trials and justice and true crime and, all of that stuff. I've always been so into it. And I talk to my friends like that are like real life walking around me type friends, like real world friends, I guess. Like I talk to them about it, and I'm like, so this one guy did this and this and this, and this isn't normal table talk for other people. So, right. It's kind of always one of those things that I've always enjoyed. But then when, I found, this community, and then like we've just built it and like more people, added on all the time. And it's so cool to have all of these people who are into all the same things to be able to experience it with and talk about it with and laugh about it with. And, I love that.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. What's crazy is you're a natural at what you do. I've been to enough of your streams and watch and tune in and how you organize data and how you present it to your audience and how you communicate with your audience. You would never guess like this is newish, right? I don't know what the protocol would be for new, but yeah. You could log into a Brandy Churchwell live stream and think she's been doing it for 10 years. I think you're incredible with what you do. So I'm glad you found it and you did it, and you're doing it now, which is so cool. I'm going to bunny hop over to JT. You and I are we're not in the same boat because I hang out with RA and piggyback off of his success. You do a million other things though. So what got you drawn into the YouTube world while you have a full-time, and from what I recall, a really stressful full-time job with high responsibility? What drew you to YouTube, and what keeps you going? And is that going to be a full-time future one day? Maybe people want to know.
That's a good question. I think it was primarily my psychosis. But also, no, I really, so I've done podcasting and true crime for about 4.5 years, and, still have 3 shows going, along with this one. And something that I've told a bunch of people is that the hard part about podcasting is that you're screaming into a void. Even with a co-host, when you publish it, you have no idea. You never knew how hard it was to rate and review something until you ask people to do it. And then it's like near impossible.
100%. Unless there's some incentive behind it. Otherwise, no chance.
Right. And so, but I still love it, right? It's still an art form that I absolutely love. And getting to do that and voiceover and narrative stuff is amazing for me. It kind of tickles the I guess, the itch in terms of acting and performing and things like that. Yeah. YouTube wise, it was. I mean, Brandy asked, and I said, well, I did produce / co-host a live stream literally once before. So yeah, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. It'll be fun. And then a lot of help from RA as well. But once I saw that and experienced the community and saw what was being built, I was 150% in. And I have a lot going on. That's true. But I really love doing this. I love doing this. If I could do this and mascot completely and that's it, I would make it my full-time job. That is always, once we started this, I can't tell you how many times I've I've texted Brandy being like, can we skip some of these steps and can I just quit and can we just do this full time? Can I do this full time,
Right.
please? So that's the goal. That's what I would love to do. I'd love to do this full time because I could churn out so much content. I have 4.5 years of backlog true crime stuff that I could churn out. I just don't have the time. And that's the hard
Right.
part. It's very frustrating. But yeah, I would love to make this full time.
Well, I hope it comes to fruition because you have a talent and a knack for it. You've got a huge fan base. You're good on camera. You're good on the microphone. People love you, obviously. And you two specifically, JT, I have to admit, I haven't seen some of the other stuff you've done before. I obviously got introduced to you through Brandy and watching you guys, but the dynamic you two have and the audience you draw, it's really special. So I hope that comes through for you. I don't know if I'm at that page yet. I think I would like to.
Would you let me write up your resignation paper? I've got some great ideas. We do prank calls on the channel a little bit, and so I could work, some humor in things like that.
There you go.
Probably would definitely be out of the job after you submit it. But, no, honestly, that's.
I mean,
You
goal
have your
achieved.
There it is.
Yeah.
You do so much stuff. It's amazing. I don't know how you do. I could not do half of what you do in a day. I've talked to you about sometimes and heard what your schedule is, and it's just I've seen when you're going live and what you're recording. It's nuts. So impressed, and you do it with style. It's like if I did it, it would just look like a train wreck after train wreck. But amazing. You guys both mentioned something that I think has been key for me as well, and that's the community we discovered in this area.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different than
Mhm.
anything you find on the internet. I mean, Brandy, you're being big on Twitter, and you do an amazing job on Twitter, but Twitter's hostile. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there are people that are just out to get you because they can, and for no other reason. It's not like you kicked their dog in a previous life or something. They're just mean people. And here we've
Mhm.
got this little community that's big, and people are just nice and friendly. And when we can disagree, and it's like we can still be friends. And
Yeah.
so that makes it so much easier to push through the hard times, because it is hard work to do this.
Yeah.
There are some days that are just frustrating. You just want to pull your hair out and cry and say, I can't today. I just can't get everything done. But
Yeah.
amazing.
And I
community.
love
And
the
I
way
do.
that, like, you set, yeah, JT does pull his hair out. That's why he doesn't have a beard anymore. He didn't shave it. He pulls it. I love that, anytime we've ever talked to you too, it's always like the internet is big enough for all of us. There's never been, we've had people in chat before that when they talk about, going watching a different stream or something, they're like, oh wait, are we allowed to talk about other streams here? Because I guess in a lot of chats they don't let you. And we're like, yeah, let us know if there's another one. And people will come in and they're like, hey, coming in from RAs. I'm like, tell him we said hi. I love that. There are plenty of hours in the day, and people can pop in and out of whatever they want. And I love that. I love that there's not the meanness that comes from some people. This is, you're right, this is a totally different type of community, and I love it.
You know what's crazy about that? The storm chasing world and weather. If you
Oh.
dare go on YouTube and watch a storm chaser and mention another storm chaser, unless there's a few guys that partner up and they go out, but if you dare mention another one in the chat, you get banned ASAP. Because
Wow.
it's that's one thing. I love weather and I love doing it. And that's one thing that hinders me from kind of really trying to chase full YouTube weather, is that part's really, really toxic. But the reason behind it is they're all chasing the shot, the footage. That's where all their money's at, and where they sell it and where they produce it, where they put it. So you enter a chat in another storm chaser and say, well, so-and-so is on this storm and it's great. kicked out, gone, no warning.
Oh wow.
It is so crazy. So I have to lurk in the chasers I watch while I'm watching on my radar and all other stuff, and never comment or say much of anything. It's insane. I kind of get why
Yeah.
they do it to an extent, but it is social media and putting yourself out there is really scary. I mean, I remember, Scott doesn't know this, and I'm going to out myself right now. The first time I said, "Hey, there's severe weather tomorrow. I'll jump on via Zoom on your first break and announce it to your audience so people know." I got so nervous and scared because of being judged that I told him I was too busy with work, and I actually didn't do it. I skipped out on the first one.
So you ghosted him too. It's not just me.
Yeah, it's true.
Is it me? Is it something?
No. The court of public opinion is so scary, and I was not ready to put myself out there, and I eventually kind of get over it and just said, whatever, I just won't read comments and I won't read chat. I'll just give my weather report and do it. And then even the podcast now, I still don't really read comments after the rewatch in the weekends, because we're just average Joes sitting here right now in our homes, putting ourselves out there and giving opinions and chit-chatting. We're not going to please everyone. And I've always heard, and I've actually agreed with the statement, if you please everybody in the world, you're doing something wrong. So
or you yourself won't be happy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really hard. We're not trained. We're not professionals. We're not anything. We just have a passion to be here and do this. And it's crazy. That's why Brandy and Scott, I envy you guys. You too, JT, because you have a job, but you're on this all the time. I don't know how you guys put yourselves out there so much. I get to kind of hide over in this little cubby hole with RA and do a podcast Friday nights, but you guys are full time on it. That's scary.
Yeah.
If it were a different community, if we were in like the weather chasing community, this would be really hard. It's like, you play basketball and they say like the sixth man is the crowd. That is so important here. That there's somebody that, when you're down, somebody cheers you on and says, "Hey, great job. Appreciate you bringing this. Appreciate what you're doing." And when things aren't going right, you're like, everything I try is failing, and they're there and saying, "It's all right. We'll be back tomorrow. We still love you." And it just allows you to get through the hard times. It wouldn't be possible without the community. And honestly, the moderators, Thomas, you're a moderator as well on my channel. The work the moderators do is huge. I didn't even know. I knew so little about YouTube. I didn't know that I would need moderators. First of all, I never thought I'd have enough people that would be a concern. But holy cow. Having a good group of moderators that can help you out and just answer questions and filter out some of the trash that occasionally finds its way through the algorithm to your channel.
Right.
It's amazing, and we've like hit the jackpot on that. Just both of us have just incredible moderator groups.
Yeah. And JT does so much with them. Like JT and the mods, like, you may see during day court stuff, you may see my face all day, but JT does, like I say all the time, every time something happens or something does something, I'm like, I need JT. Like he does so much. And between him and the mods, they carry me completely.
That was definitely, that's something that I do tell people. It's like, that's something I never thought about, just like you had said, was the whole moderator thing. And we started out with quite a core group of mods, and now we're up to, I think, a staff of 20. And they all do different roles, and they all do different times and streams, and some of them are on all day. And we have bailiffs who kind of oversee and answer any questions of the rest of the mods. And there's documentation that I've put together because I'm a technical writer too. And sorry, everybody. Sorry, mods. But it's really, it's kind of really helped with the whole, like, I like leadership. I like helping. I don't know how they would comment on my leadership. Hopefully they're okay with it so far. But also at this point, our mods and the kind of the bailiffs, they're running their show. I don't really need to be there anymore. And the whole goal was to eventually for me to back out, except for big questions. And the amount of time that they give is just, it's unruly. And I'm just so grateful to them and everything that they do. And the fact that they're so careful and they have conversations about, you'll see like 5-message conversation in Discord about one comment to see if it's okay to remove or not. Like, they really care, and it's just so awesome to work with a group that really cares. It's harder to find that than you'd think. So
Yeah.
they're wonderful.
So I've got a question, if I can jump in. Brandy, JT, in your community building, whether it's through a podcast or through the live streams, is there any element of your show that became an element of your show because the community brought it and it wasn't like your idea? And I'll tell you, first of all, pickles was not my idea. I loved them, but I didn't know it would be a part of my channel. So is there anything like that that's sort of developed for you guys?
Go ahead, JT.
Yeah, I mean, first thing I can start out with is the sound effects that I have. I now have like 7 pages of Stream Deck buttons of sound effects, and the majority of them are suggested by everybody. So that's one thing. The other thing that continued on because it was so well received, but then also, the ideas continued flowing, was this new thing that I have that I do on Night Court, which is Chat GPT Mad Libs. And so basically within our Discord, John Thomas jokes, that is a consistent thing.
Jokes.
Thank you, Dean Sparks.
Love those.
Yeah, so
The
I just
calendar.
grabbed somebody from Discord.
Oh,
Jeez, yeah. Okay, we're going to move to Brandy. Because there's a lot of stuff that Lori Vallow, that trial generated so many ideas. Like, I think that's kind of where the whole thing happened. So
yeah, it all went it all went I don't know if you say up or down from there, but everything changed from that one. But the calendar was a big one. It started out because we were seeing, and we were like, you know what? It's okay to have a little eye candy. Like these are hard times. These are hard things to watch. And if we want to take a moment and enjoy a hot copper, and then somebody called in the Lori Vallow, we found, I would go through and depending on who had time that day, either JT or I would go through and find pictures of, like, because we would follow the trial during the day and we would find pictures of who was on there. And then Detective Daddy came out. Somebody in chat called him Detective Daddy. He had, his voice was like butter. It was like, he had like this deep, like you just want him to, read you a story type voice. And keep in mind, there's no video. Like, all we're doing is we have one picture and we're hearing his voice, and chat went wild. And somebody called him Detective Daddy. And then I was like, you know what? We're making a calendar. So, the thirsty jurors, as one of our, so one of our members started calling him, that came from that. And just so many fun things like that, just off the wall stuff.
But I mean,
our members are great.
We've had somebody approach one of the witnesses, right, and said that they were a trial daddy. Didn't we have that happen? Correct?
Yes. She is one of our members is close to Kay and Larry, and she was in court every day, and then she'd come watch at night, and she would give us a bunch of the details of stuff that was happening in the courtroom. And she said, she was like, it's so heavy during the day, but she's like, it's nice to come, at night and like be able to enjoy some of the laughter parts of it, to kind of, it relieves her. So she was laughing about Trial Daddy. Well, she went up to him, she's like, hey, just so you know, like you're Mr. September or whatever he was. And, they call you Detective Daddy. And, she took a picture of him and sent it to us. And so we were like, oh gosh. Yeah, that one took off.
Wow. Does he like autograph calendars for you now? I mean, have you made that connection? Can you take it to the next level?
I mean, we had, we also, who was it? Bryson. Bryson said he went to, what was it, the Essence Fest or something, I think. And people were saying something to him. Like, they were like, oh, hey, Trial Daddy. Somebody had a picture made with his face and it said Trial Daddy on it. And so stuff like that. So we're nationwide now. We're worldwide now with the Trial Daddy calendar. So congratulations, Mr. October. Weather Watch.
I was going to say, I've seen said calendar before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna file a petition for a new photo, if I may, at one point in time. But it's an honor and a privilege to be on said calendar.
The
Absolutely.
second edition, you get to choose your photo. That's what I hear.
There you go.
Right.
Oh heavens. So I've got just a couple more questions, and then I've got a little game. But if not YouTube, what would you be doing now? And this goes to both. Yeah, JT's like, what? JT, you go first on this one. If YouTube didn't exist, this wasn't an option. What would you be doing? What would you like to do? Not what you have to succumb to doing or forced to do, but what would be your dream or your ideal thing to be doing outside of that?
Sure. Well, it seems like all of my hobbies would never sustain me. This is the closest that I've gotten to that happening, which tells you a lot about my hobbies.
I'm with you.
Honestly, like for quite some time, I was working on breaking into voiceover work. And I got some stuff and some roles and some things like that, which was fun, and some panned out. And the one that I wanted to pan out, that I got the role of the Joker, did not pan out. I was very sad. But most of I truly would either be that is the best word ever. I truly would. I mean, if I wasn't doing this, if YouTube didn't exist, I'd still be podcasting. I'd still be writing. I'd still be editing. I'd still be, because I also write scripts for other podcasts too. And so, that world is the one that I love. And true crime is a world that I love. And I like being able to play with that balance between humor and crime and still be respectful. And to me, that's where I like sitting right there in the middle. So yeah, I mean, I'd still be doing this, or I'd be mascotting every night too. So I would fill the time one way or another.
Well, out of anyone, I believe you would. Yes, filling time seems to be your forte. So there's no question there. I love it. Brandy, what about you? If YouTube wasn't a thing, not an option, again, not what you're forced to do, but something that if you had your druthers, what would you love to do? And that would be your take all.
I think I would want to be, an investigator. I really enjoy just, digging stuff up and organizing it and putting it all together to get like the entire picture on stuff. And, I enjoy the streaming and everything, but man, like just doing the digging and, putting everything together is to me, just, it's almost like therapeutic. And I get so excited when I find new stuff and stuff like that. So I think that would be one of the things that I would want to do.
So how would you feel then when you're called as a witness to a trial? You scared? Are you excited?
I'd be excited. I'd be like, hey y'all, like I'm here, I made it.
Brandy has one of the brains that I'm most jealous of, just the way that it works. We interviewed Mark Scheiner, the first Mark Scheiner interview that we did, who was the defense attorney for Travis Rudolph, and Brandy had brought up this call, and Brandy had asked Mark if he had ever heard this one part of the phone call. What was it? What was, I can't remember what was said.
It was a 911 call, and you can hear, to me, because I take those calls and I'll slow them down and I'll listen, because you'd be amazed what you can hear. Yes. And it sounded like he was saying, throw it. And I was like, I bet they're throwing the guns, because this is when, they're finally on the phone with police or whatever. And I was like, I bet that's where they threw the guns. And I asked Mark, I was like, do you think that's what it is? And he had not, and he was like, because it wasn't brought up in trial. And I was like, did you hear it, or am I hearing things? He was like, no, I didn't hear that. Why didn't you tell me this beforehand? And so I was like, my bad. At some point,
he was like, at some point he was like, I should hire you. And without any joking aside, I was just like, yes, you should.
Yeah, no brainer.
Brandy's amazing.
Yeah.
That is true. Your ability to take data and just assemble it and make sense of it, like just raw data, and almost make it visual. it just makes sense. You did it with Murdaugh, with the timelines and all the different things, and you could put it together, and it's like this is what everybody needs. And lawyers, they're great at what they do, but they're not good at that. You have that skill that is just incredible. And I seriously think one day there's going to be a lawyer who knocks on your door, is like, hey, want to double your income?
You want to come work for me and do some work? Absolutely.
It would be, something fun, because I feel like it's one of those things that would make a difference. But also, it is one of the things that I know my strengths and weaknesses. And that is one thing that I know is a strength of mine. I can dig stuff up, and I'm good with data visualization, because I have to see the whole picture. I can't just listen to a bunch of stuff and comprehend it. I have to make notes and organize, and then, get rid of the fluff, and then look at the meat and potatoes and figure out what's what. And once I can fully comprehend it, then I can explain it. But it's a whole process for me, but I enjoy it.
Speaking of meat and potatoes,
Oh,
you were doing some jumping around today, and the Emmy was going to come on, and you said something about meat potatoes, and you went, that might not have been the best phrase for me to use at this point in time.
Yeah.
I wanted to clip it and go back and catch it. It was hilarious. It was so good. But before we skip on, Scott, I don't want you to get away with this one. What would you be doing? What would your dream job be doing if YouTube wasn't your job?
Probably
we might have gone down. Probably what?
Politics.
Not pickles.
No, just kidding.
Not pickles.
Not pickles.
Man,
really into jarring.
I will tell you, I had no idea that I would enjoy what I'm doing right here. So I would probably be in something very different. Before this, I was in a cubicle looking at a computer screen. Did that for 12 years and loved it. Now I'm in a bigger cubicle looking at more computer screens.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But there's a camera here. If I could do one of my other hobbies for a business, like if I could metal detect and just find people's lost rings or something for a living, that would be awesome. I'd love it. Get me on the beach, sunshine, a little bit of exercise. It would do me some good.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so awesome. You got it right. If you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. That's what they say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To an extent.
Somebody told me that the other day, and I was like, it'd just be great if what I loved actually paid me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that phrase is like a giant colander. It's all it is. There's just holes everywhere. It leaks. There's no factual basis behind it, because I've tried it like 3 times in my life, and it's amazing. But I'm about to be homeless, and I can't do this, so I had to do other things. But it is true.
Right.
It's one thing it's stressful. I will, like you guys on the full YouTube spectrum, doing what you love. You have a blast with it. You're passionate. But it doesn't take away that you guys don't put in the work and the hours and the comments that come to you, this and that. Brandy, you have full experience on a whole different scale with the Melly trial and actually with threat. I mean, things like that. So yes, you're at home doing YouTube and you love it. A lot of people don't understand. You're not just sitting there at your desk and hanging out. There's so much work behind the scenes, and I can't even touch on that because I don't do it. I don't know it all. But kudos for you guys for doing what you do and how you're doing it. And all the people here watching us obviously love the product you guys put out, and it's entertaining because it's a Friday night and we're all here. So,
Yay.
I've got another question, unless Scott, if you have another one you will plug in before one more question, and then I have a little segment to dive into. But all right,
I was just trying to find this. I'm just going to pin this comment because Phoenix Rising nailed it. It said recovery addict. So if you weren't a recovery addict, you'd be a recovery addict. So that's basically in a nutshell. If I couldn't do this, I would still be doing this.
Yeah, right.
That's my life.
That's pretty good.
I don't know how on Night Court last night we got talking about magnet fishing.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and I have no idea about it other than I like watching the videos, but it just seems like so much fun. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to talk to RA about this because it sounds like fun.
I can tell you just from my friends that do it. If you watch magnet fishing on YouTube, every other thing you pull up is either a gun safe or a gun. Okay, those are the 2 things you find.
Yeah.
If you do it in real life, you never find those. It's like the
Yeah.
guns and the gun safes are very rare unless you really do your research and find it. But I still want to do it. I'm scared to touch the stuff that comes out of the river.
Fishing
Yeah.
lures all day. You just
Yeah.
scoop them up with
Yeah.
magnets and junk and trash. And now you're stuck hauling it off because you're not going to leave it on the side of the road and be that guy
It's like
or
now
that
what?
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're stuck there.
Yeah.
I saw it in chat. Let's see. Mrs. RA chimed in. She said, what did she say? Dodging the question. What would you rather if you had your, well, I'm not a YouTuber, so it doesn't equate to me. It doesn't matter. I have a different job. I don't, and I don't know if my boss watches this. So if I say I'd rather be doing something else, I'm not self-employed. So I love the job I have, and that's where I'm going to stay.
And that's your official line that you're going to stick to. And we believe you. Wink,
Considering
wink.
that answer, politician.
Yeah.
There you
Fair
go.
enough. If I could have my dream job tomorrow, I would be a caddy on the PGA Tour. 100%.
Mm.
100%. But it would have to be a player.
Would you be a caddy?
That jumps over my head. If I'd be a caddy. Oh, a cat. Got it. Sorry, it took me a minute. But no, it would. I mean, if you could pick your dream, but everyone's kept it real, right? My dream would be a pro golfer, but that's not realistic. But I do feel like I have the skills and ability to go be a caddy for a pro player with my background of being a club teacher and a club pro and a decent player of the game. And I coached hockey at a high level for a lot of years. And I love working and talking with people and working through scenarios. So I feel like I could actually go do that if I ever had a chance. Problem is you have to know people and actually have the chance. So I'll stay right where I am right here and do my 9 to 5er and be a mod for RA and call life.
Until that big storm rolls up and he gets the shot. And then somebody says, hey,
Yeah.
have you heard of this guy?
I've given up on weather. It's 105 plus degrees in North Texas for like the next 40 days still. So it's no fun right now for me. It's in other parts of the country. I get lazy but it's where I'm at. So, all right. Enough of that because that was depressing. Diving in. JT, Brandy.
Uh-oh.
Favorite YouTubers to watch, not true crime.
Not true crime.
Not true crime. Who's he going to be?
Are there things other than true crime?
I know. I'm just
I
thinking.
don't know.
Like,
I
what
haven't
else do
found
I
any.
watch?
That's why I picked the question because I'm looking for referrals for recommendations.
Jacob will come up and show me things all the time. And there's some show where, one of them that I do watch, and again, I only watch him with my kid when he comes over, but what's the comedian? Lord help me, what's his name? And he talks like me. He's, what is his name?
Larry the Cable Guy?
Jeff Foxworthy, Ron White, Larry the Cable Guy.
You go with everyone Southern I can think of. Jeff Dunham.
Lord, I
ventriloquist.
apologize.
He's kind of new. Oh gosh.
Get out the Googles.
I'm Googling it right now. What is his name?
Comedian that talks like me, Google.
He's
I like Matt Rife. He's funny.
Oh, Matt Rife followed me on Twitter or something, and I was like, and I didn't know who he was. I think it was
Nate Bargatze is one of the best for me.
It's something like Next Weekend or something. What is the name of?
So this is your favorite that you're picking, but you're Googling who your favorite is at the moment.
She watches him religiously every time.
Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn.
Oh,
Theo
okay.
Vaughn. I only watch it with my kid when he comes up to hang out with me, and he'll play it, and it's really funny. And then there's so I've seen that one, but the only thing I ever watch is true crime stuff. But so I have seen that one with him, and then there's one that he plays up here where I don't know who they eat a bunch of hot wings, and whoever comes and sits with them, they eat
hot wings.
Hot ones, yeah.
Hot ones, yeah. That's a great one, and they have celebrity guests all the time, right?
Yeah,
That's a good one. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Theo,
my favorite one. I could not know the name.
My favorite one. Hang on, give me a second. Let me
Yeah.
JT, you're up. Do you need Google or Siri, or are you good?
No. I do really like the First We Feast channel, which is hot ones and etc.
Yes.
I like to torture myself and get hungry without any food in front of me. honestly, I really enjoy watching like bowling, which seems silly, but also
I get it.
the patterns of the patterns of the alleys, the types of bowling balls, etc. It's just fascinating to me. And then I also listen to or watch. There's a channel called October Pod Home Video, and it's a buddy of mine, and he goes by Edward October, and so it's not horror; it's more like thriller. It's like your classic thriller type stories. They're original stories, and he adds visuals to the stories and stuff. And I just really like what he does. So if you kind of are into that October Pod, you can just look at October Pod and you'll find it.
I'm
But
searching it right now.
so those are kind of some of my favorites. Yeah. So
Cool. I love that. Scott, what about you? And it can't be all right. Here's a caveat though: not true
go ahead.
crime or metal detecting. You've got two handcuffs.
All right.
For this one.
I actually I like some of the channels that that either look into science, because I actually taught science classes for kids in my front yard for a summer, and it was a blast. So I like science videos. So anybody but like
Mark
Rober,
Yeah, figured.
some of the guys that build stuff like Colin Firth over in the UK. There's another guy over here in he always has like a little banter back and forth with his wife where there's a contest, and he always, you know, he made like a robot that cuts his hair, like it's like fully AI and it's automated. And it's like, and he's got scissors flying around his head. It looked awful.
Oh wow.
But the guy, he just does some crazy stuff. I like watching those. They're usually channels that put out like one video a month or maybe a little less, but they do a ton of production value. And then I admit I watch Mr. Beast. I figure he's pretty much figured out how YouTube works, so I should at least watch him and figure out what he's doing.
If you're a YouTuber and you don't watch Mr. Beast, then you're a fool, because he's obviously, why would you not watch the #1 YouTuber in the world, even if you don't like the content,
yeah.
but just to nitpick what he's doing and take some notes and steal some ideas? I mean, my gosh. But my only concern out of your selections is that you did not pick Homeschool Ground Zero, i.e. your wife, which means yet another podcast night where you go to the couch yet again. I found a way to go to the couch again.
I like to help at least a little bit on the technical side, on the production side, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything, because I've either listened in or I've checked the audio, or was working with a focus or setting up something. So I like to listen in, and I feel like I've already watched it. I do watch her videos when they drop. But sorry, Ben.
You both should be
please
running mates for office, because you both are great at handling these situations. So
I need to order some flowers. Can you guys cover for me for just a minute?
That's okay. You've got a rental dog. You can just hang out with them on the couch. It's cool.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it. So great comment here from Gossip Rumor Innuendo. I've never seen Mr. Beast. His restaurant looks tasty and great though. So the cool thing about it is he started the most brilliant business in the world, and that is the Mr. Beast burger. And all he did was solicit fast food restaurants and say, can I please stock my ingredients in your restaurant? So when people order delivery food only, DoorDash, Uber Eats, there's a couple others out there I'm blanking that are in different areas, but you can't go in and eat. You order a Mr. Beast burger on Uber Eats or DoorDash, it's getting made by the nearest McDonald's or whatever other chain restaurant. He has put his ingredients in. They're making it and then sending it out. Amazing. Oh, wow. His overhead is tiny, and his name is now everywhere. And it's just a basic burger, nothing great about it, but the hype behind him and what he's doing, he's brilliant. But now he has cookies and things like that we talked about, and Walmart and everything else. It's insane. The guy is brilliant in what he's doing. I mean, who would have think about that? But he's doing it.
Yeah, you never would have thought that from him counting to 10,000 on the live stream, that would be his future, that he would be like the most famous guy on YouTube. But I like to watch him just to figure out how he does what he does, and he does a lot of he'll collaborate with people and say, hey, this is what I've learned, and he gives it away, his information. He's like, hey, if you want to do this, this is how to do it. So I like watching for that reason.
Yeah,
I agree. His podcasts are funny too. Not his, but when he does guest appearances, he is not Mr. Beast when he's a guest. His filter falls off the map, and like you said, he gives it away. He gives away the farm and all his secrets, but yeah, he just lets it rip when it comes to the language and everything else, and which is kind of funny. But diving into a quick segment here. So we're gonna find yes, RA does live.
I think he
close to
lives
us,
within like 5 miles of me, and I've never seen him in
Oh, wow.
real life. So
which is
What?
crazy. Yeah, they're right there in North Carolina. So this is a segment we do on our podcast. We do top 3 of your favorite this, that, or other things, or would you rather? And we've done rapid fire, which is what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to go rapid fire. JT, you're going to answer first. Brandy, you're right after. You have like
Okay.
3 seconds. They're super easy. It's option A or B, and you just pick. Honestly, half the people are going to know what you're going to pick. There's nothing tricky and it's easy, but it's just kind of fun.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah. So we'll go down the line. We'll go JT, Brandy, Scott. Sound good?
Okay.
East Coast, West Coast.
East Coast.
East Coast.
East Coast.
Central Plains. Tacos or pizza?
Oh man, pizza.
Tacos.
Pizza.
Tacos. Dang it.
Central Plains.
Yeah, I should keep going.
Yeah. What's with you getting option C on this? I thought we had to choose between one or the other.
Oh,
There
my
you go.
game, my rules. I get to cheat every
All
time.
right. All right.
Boat or plane?
Plane.
I mean, are we talking like a little boat, like a fishing boat, or like a
You
like a
can't ask
yacht?
follow-up questions.
Nah. What hit you in the
Okay.
gut when you heard the
Boat.
question?
Boat.
Motorcycle. Shoes or flip flops?
Shoes.
Flip flops.
Shoes.
I couldn't figure out an audible on this one, so I'll just go shoes and play the game as it's supposed to be.
I thought you were going to say like Crocs or something.
I almost went with Hey Dudes because I do have a pair. But early morning or late night?
Late night.
Early morning.
Late night.
Lunch.
Recess.
I feel cheated every time you come up with an answer. It's like, why didn't I get that shot?
100%. Oh, red pen. Nailed it. I love it. So I guess actually it wouldn't be it would be either hockey skates or golf shoes for me. All right. Would you rather, but it's you pick one, hot or cold?
Hot.
Cold.
Hot.
Hot.
I say that
like it.
because Mrs. RA is listening. I'm trying to earn my way off the couch.
You're still as a statue, not moving.
Can I please go somewhere hot where I can do ice fishing? Is that too much to ask?
Even better, take Mrs. RA ice fishing and see where you land tonight. We've got Walmart.
Tepid weather watch.
Such an instigator. So we've got Walmart or Target.
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 He has to advise Mrs.
hold
RA
tight.
for a
I have
second.
to-
Walmart's in every trial that we cover. So
front of the Walmart.
There it is. Got it.
I'm-
I know what he's
I'm a
doing.
Walmart guy. I can hate the store and still shop there. That's what
I gotta
do.
go Walmart too. I go there almost every day. Is Walmart. So that's rapid fire. That's as easy as it is. Nothing to be scared of. See.
I still
I-
feel cheated. There
I'm
was
about to say
so
I
many-
still feel I'm a little bit in my feelings right now because you got answers that like weren't A or B. Like we didn't talk about any C or A, B1 options. So
Well, when we go on your channel for a podcast, you write down the list and then you can cheat us.
Okay.
That's how we'll do it.
okay, I'll do that.
Oh goodness. So for me, I know Scott may have another follow-up question or two here before we kind of wrap up. I know you guys have you guys are going live here just in a few minutes. We'll give you all how about a 10-minute jump here for y'all before we close this down
Okay.
and shut it down. What is your goal moving forward with your channels and YouTube? Ideally, where would you like to see yourself? That's really broad. Where would you like to see yourself in, let's say, a year or two?
I would like for it to I'm blurry. I think I'm out of focus. Come back to me. Where
Use the force on your camera.
There it goes. Yeah, see, it works. You see that? It
I need one of those.
That camera knows to listen. That camera knows.
worked. Listens better than Lucy. So, I would like for it to grow enough so that JT can leave his other job and
Aw.
I can't.
Aw.
Y'all don't understand how much he truly does. I would be lost without him helping me with everything, like all of the everything. And I'm constantly texting him. I'm like, what's the blue cord? What is this button? What is that? What's a bot? What does this do? Like, I don't, he does all that. So I would like for the channel to grow enough to where we can get him to leave his full-time job and come be with us for full-time.
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you all for joining.
That is awesome.
That's incredible. Brandy, how selfless. That is so cool. Follow-up question would be to JT, but if he answers anything other than being part of Brandy's channel full time,
Then you're out.
it would be a disaster. So-
We'll just go ahead and kick him out.
No, I mean, it's true. I mean, I love working with Brandy. I love working with everybody that I do work with regarding the channel. But in a year, I would love to churn out just a one-shot case, like 3 times a week on top of streaming and just getting stuff out there. Also using the channel for good, pushing good causes, pushing local artists, pushing that kind of thing. I think it's really important to do that kind of stuff, especially if you can give them a stage. And that's something that as a podcaster, like an indie podcaster, I had always wanted and never got. And so if I can do that for somebody else, and if, I'm trying to do it now, but if in a year we're big enough to where I can really make a difference in somebody's life doing that, I'd love to get to that point.
That's incredible. Gosh, the answer
is awesome.
Scott, you want to follow those two?
What JT just said is real. Being able to, first of all, I lucked into this. I have no skill or talent, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, I think, and have a little bit of gear, and so it worked out for me. But being able to help somebody else out and say, hey, let me help you get started. Let me give you some tips or advice. It seems like, you lift people around you, but it sort of lifts the whole community and lifts everybody, and everyone benefits from it. And it's so awesome because there's so many people out there who have so much talent and so much to give. And we would love to be able to participate with them, and they just don't know where to start. And just being able to help like that, that's huge for me. Down the road, the only thing I love more than, live streaming true crime is I love, you watch Napoleon Dynamite. I love technology. I won't sing it, but I love technology. I love all the gear and stuff. And I would love to give Law and Crime a run for their money and just live stream courts all over, have gear, run crews, and set it up and just give it to the people.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So that's why I have the live view. I'm going to be hopefully getting some more of them, and we'll be sending them around the country. And
I'm in. You didn't ask me, but I'm in.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
So that, ladies and gentlemen in chat and those watching tonight, that is why these communities between these 3 individuals is so special, unique, kind, sharing, differing opinions, yet productive conversation that happens because you just heard their answers of where their vision is and what they want. And it was all selfless and where they wanted to be. And it's about the people and for the people and what they do. And they're passionate. So I think I think it's a given. I think that's why there's so many people that love the 3 of you and watching and being a part of it. And they're every day in, day out on Friday evenings. They're not even done here. About to jump over to Brandy's channel with you and JT to watch the Court After Hours for the remainder of Friday night. It's just because
we're doing a redirect to that too. We're going to jump over. Like if you stay with the channel, we're going to pop you over to JT so you can watch the night court with him. So we're super excited to send you guys there after we're done here.
Which is incredible. So I'd like to give a huge thanks to now back to the chat and all the viewers and the people that support between the super chats, the memberships, the comments that get made, the help behind the scenes when they pop in Discord or DMs or other text messages for insight, information, support. The community here that follows is amazing. And I'm a teeny beady piece in all this, but you 3 are mega and all about it. I enjoy the 3 of you guys. but the chat and the community that follows makes it even bigger. So thanks to all you that are watching and commenting and are being here.
Thank you. I love everything about the community, and I appreciate y'all having us on. This has been so much fun too.
Yeah, thank you a
Can't-
ton. It's been great.
Can't thank you enough for joining. Again, we know how busy you guys are. It's day and night where Recovery Addicts, primarily a day show. There's work behind the scenes, but you guys are on all the time. So thanks for sparing with us an hour and change of your time to be here and join. We really, really appreciate it. And good luck tonight. We're all going to hop over and join you there.
Thank you.
You guys
See
are
y'all
awesome. Thanks so
soon.
much for taking time out of your day to be here. You're amazing. Everything Weather Watch said was true, except we forgot to mention how awesome he is. So
Yes.
ditto plus
Too
Weather Watch is
modest.
amazing. So.
Too modest.
Thank you guys. Have a great Friday night. I'm going to go over to JT and Ray chat a little bit there with the rest of y'all. I will say, when we get there, let's announce our presence by clicking the like button. That's how we say we're here, and then we'll mess with chat and
Yes.
talk and things like that. It's been a fantastic podcast. Thank you very much. These are some of my favorite people on the internet. Thank you for letting me sit down here in the corner and enjoy your presence. So have a good evening. We'll see y'all.